Good afternoon, everyone. When I first applied for the Student Speakers League, I asked one of my friends on what I should talk about. And she told me, give them an experience. Make a talk that will truly be you. So today, I have one ultimate goal in mind, a goal that I try to achieve in every aspect of what I do. To do that, I discussed the most important topic you will ever hear today, a topic so profound that it created another branch of aesthetics, captivating research for 21 long years, yet no one has the answers to. But I have the answers for it, for I am its sole beholder. And it goes a bit like this. My name is Sunny, and I'm the hottest person in the world. Thank you, thank you. Wow, no one believed me. Wow. If you responded as after, well, clearly, you have eyes. If you took me seriously, well, thank you. I am single. Please scan this QR code as I am receiving applications. Now, hopefully, by this point in my speech, you realize I'm not a serious person. And for my talk, I'll try to give you guys a little breather away from heavy topics. And I'll tell you a few ways I make people laugh. And by the end of it, hopefully you yourself can make someone happy. I'll take you on my journey on finding out what it truly means to bring people joy. Now, when I was a kid, my brother revealed to me that the only reason why I was made is because he doesn't have a toy to play with. Apparently, my mom carrying me for 9 months is way cheaper than buying him Legos. Similarly, my mom told me when I was a kid, every time she would see me, she would just start laughing. And other people said the same thing. Every time they see me, they would just start laughing. Now, I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or if that means I was an ugly kid, but I can kind of see why they would laugh. But when you're a kid, no one takes you seriously. Needless to say, I did not take myself seriously at all. I just saw it as a childhood quirk of just bringing joy to wherever I go. But there's always a point in a child's life where reality is kicked in. Suddenly, you discover life is not as happy nor as kind as you thought it was. The first reality kicked in for me when I first saw my mom cry, and I cannot find a way to make her laugh. At that moment, I felt invisible, I felt helpless, as I tried my best to make her smile again. At this point in my life, I thought crying is the opposite of laughter, as sadness is the opposite of joy. And in some weird way of connecting the dots, crying is the opposite of me. With a name like Sunny, it's very off-brand if you do start crying. Plus, I heard crying makes you ugly, so these days skincare is very expensive. We don't want that. Now, a lot more sad things happen those moments, and I suddenly see my childhood fade away, and I learn the flaws of human nature. At a young age, I learned that marriage can get complicated the more people involved in it, and how death can be treated kinder, better than life. In these moments, everyone was crying. I stayed silent. And when it's their turn to stay silent, I would crack a joke to lighten the mood. I get in trouble for it. It's not the most appropriate of times, but it never fails to put a smile on people's faces. At this point, this childhood quirk of mine became my responsibility. I took the role of a joker, and it's my responsibility to make people laugh. Over time, I'd say I've gotten pretty good at it, and I'd like to share you a few ways I make people laugh. Number one, witty comebacks. Just respond in the most nonsensical or unexpected way. They would think you're smart because you thought of that, and it will probably open up to a lot more conversations. Number two, self-deprecating jokes. If you search online how to be funny, you might come across a video claiming that every joke has a victim. Knowing this, you don't want to put other people down, so might as well put yourself in that position. Hopefully, you're not offended by your own jokes, though. And my favorite, a light tease, if you will. Now, it's funny because I'm not that attractive. Media team, did we get a photo? Did we get something? Okay, looking good. And after all these, and you still haven't made someone laugh, well, just laugh. Laughter is, in fact, contagious, as proven by science. Now, if at this point of my speech I still haven't made you chuckle a bit, wow, are you guys okay? You can breathe. It's been early. But Other friends would say otherwise. You see, one of the classes here in APU, they ask you at the last class to write down on a sheet of paper what you thought about others. And I have accumulated a very interesting sheet. This is the sheet they gave me, and a few highlights here are the best entertainer, thank you. The best student ever, thank you. And my favorite is the happy virus. I just love being associated with something that kills people. Really brings in the energy, if you will. This was all challenged, however, when I went to an exchange program in Japan, and I was hosted by this picture-perfect family. Now, in this family, everyone was fit, everyone was talented, everyone were apparently good at cooking, and most of all, they were complete. I was told to treat this family as if it was my own, but I cannot find my role in this family. They don't need me, they're already happy. So in the next 3 months of living with them, I tried to find a new role, a new purpose. And in doing so, I stumble a lot. Not to mention, you're facing cultural and language barriers. I look at it as if I was looking at it from a child's perspective. I have to develop new skills, new habits, and I have to forget old responses that were natural for me back home. And in these moments, where I have limited ways to express myself, I use laughter as my medium. Laughter became my response to most things, and to other things where I shouldn't be laughing. Now, these things might be like being late for a hike, which I thought was not that relevant, or sneaking in cookies. But it got so bad that we ended up fighting here and there, and it got so bad that my host brother, who was 8 years younger than me, had to tell me to stop laughing. Now I know he means no harm when he told me this. He was a kid after all. But I feel like he was telling me to stop being you. So that night, I did the opposite of me. And then I reflected on why I was laughing at the first place. And I came into a conclusion that this is my way to remind myself of what happiness feels like. Because if not, I have to face the fact that I was sad, which at this point of my life I did not understand. I was fed the most amazing obentos. They made me thin, and now I can enjoy a lot more clothes. So, what makes me so sad in those moments? After the exchange program, I went back home, and I told this story to some of my friends. And one told me, of course they'll be mad at you. You were lying to them. When you laugh, you were not being genuine. However, scientists can suggest that people can generally tell whether a laughter is genuine or not. So what makes mine different? What is a genuine laughter? Was I not genuinely happy? I guess. Where is a genuine laughter from? Does it always have to be from jokes? Now, my favorite example of a genuine laughter is when I finally finished my application for the Student Speakers League. I went up to my friends, and they started laughing. They never really saw me as a reliable source, so they were just imagining a few ways I would probably fail as a speaker. But right soon after, they started telling about their own stories of what they would like to share in front of an audience. And most of these stories were about losing someone, being left, being hurt. But at the end of every speech, they would laugh. Now, I don't know anyone who would laugh in those moments, but this time, they were laughing. They were truly happy. Now I can finish this talk and just say, time heals wounds, and we can wrap up and go home. But I think it's more complicated than that. Well, not really. Okay. For the greater part of my life, I thought the best way to make people happy is to make them laugh. But in reality, the best way to make people happy is to listen. When we listen, we recognize their struggles, their triumphs, who they were, and who they've become. It might lead to tears, it might lead to laughter, but one way or another, it would lead us to what truly brings them joy. Now, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you made someone truly happy? Hopefully, right now you're sitting with your friends, and you can say, a few moments ago when I was with them and we were laughing. If so, do you think you can put in the same efforts for their tears as much as you do for their laughter? Do you think you can put on the same efforts and share both tears and laughter with these people you called friends? I'm sorry, guys, it got a bit too heavy. I know, I promise you that I'll give you guys a little breather away from heavy topics. And I also promise you that by the end of it, hopefully you yourself can make someone happy. And truly, you have. On behalf of all the great speakers who shared their stories here with us tonight, today, I am grateful for your presence, your patience, and efforts to be here with us. Thank you for recognizing our existence. Thank you for making us happy. Thank you for listening.